So this hymn is in Trishtup, one hymn actually dedicated to Usha by Vishwamitra, which was commented by Sri Aurobindo. It is at the end, to the end of his mandala. The last verse will be, hymn will be with Gayatri mantra. You know that Vishwamitra was the author of the Gayatri mantra, that famous Savitri mantra, which is the mantra of initiation of every Brahmin into their brahmacharya. So, okay, we look into this hymn. Usho vajena vajini pracheta stomam jushasva granato maghoni purani devi yuvatif purandir anuvratam charasi vishvavare. Dawn, richly stored, these are Sri Aurobindo's translations. Dawn, richly stored with substance. Richly stored with substance, vajena vajani. Conscious, pracheta, cleave to the affirmation of him who expresses the granato, jushasva, stomam, to the affirmation. Stoma is the affirmation of praising. Praising, but not praising as some, trying to butter somebody's ego. It is to establish the presence of the divinity within stoma. Stomam jushasva, kind of cleave to the affirmation of him who expresses the grenatach, of the one who expresses you in the, or speaks about you, sings about you. Gri root is to, from here, glossa, gri, glossa, the same etymology, voice, who voices you in his being, O Maghoni, O you, O thou of the plenitudes. Goddess ancient, Purani, yet ever young, Yuvatich, O Devi, O Goddess. Thou movest many-thoughted, following the law of thy activities, Purandih, Anuvratam charasi, O bearer of every boon, Vishvavare. So this is the famous reference to Purani Devi Yuvatih. She is ancient, she is from the beginning of time, and she is ever young. Maybe we should read Sri Aurobindo's first, and then we read the hymn, and we will see all these elements. It's not very long, like 2 pages or so. Surya Savitri, in his task of illumination, follows the progress of the dawn. You see, I highlighted this because it has a profound meaning. Surya Savitri, who is the supermind, in his task of illumination, follows the progress of the dawn. He follows the dawn, the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother is the leader. She brings the supermind into manifestation. Whatever she prepares will be the consequences or the results of that, whether supermind will be able to come and manifest or not. It is her work. By the way, the Surya Savitri himself, Aditya, the sun, the supramental sun, is one of the faculties of the Divine Mother. So in another hymn, the movements of the mind have been described as growing conscient and brilliant by the bright power of the continuous dawns. Continuous dawns. They are coming as these hues, one hue after the other, always increasing the brightness and the depth of color. Throughout the Veda, Usha, daughter of heaven, has always the same function. She is the medium of the awakening, medium of the awakening, the activity and the growth of the other gods. The activity and the growth of the other gods. She comes with all the gods in her chariot. She brings all the powers because she is the action of the Divine Mother, engaging the gods who are her faculties. She is the first condition of the Vedic realization. Wow, the first condition of the Vedic realization and of the integral yoga. The dawning of the Divine Mother from above is the beginning of the Vedic realization. By her increasing illumination, the whole nature of man is clarified. Through her, he arrives at the truth. Through her. Through her, he enjoys the beatitude. The divine dawn of the rishis is the advent of the divine light, throwing off veil after veil and revealing in man's activities the luminous Godhead. What a beautiful sentence. She's removing veil after veil from man's activities to reveal there, hidden behind those veils, the luminous Godhead hiding within. In that light, the work is done, the sacrifice offered, and its desirable fruits gathered by humanity. She works for all humanity, always. Many other hymns, indeed, in which rich and beautiful figures of the earthly dawn veil this inner truth of the goddess Usha. But in this hymn of the great Rishi Vishwamitra, the psychological symbolism of the Vedic dawn is apparent from beginning to end by open expressions and on the surface of the thought. O dawn, reach of store in thy substance, he cries to her. Conscient cleave to the affirmation of him who expresses thee, O thou who has the plenitudes. The word prachetach and the related word vichetach, these are Vedic words, are standing terms of Vedic phraseology. They seem to correspond to the ideas expressed in the later language of the Vedantic by the Vedantic Prajnana and Vijnana. And those of you who studied with me, these Samjnana, Ajnana, Vijnana, Prajnana can easily relate to these. Prajnana, he will give us the definitions here. Prajnana is the consciousness that cognizes all things as objects, confronting its observation. In the divine mind, it is knowledge regarding things as their source, possessor, and witness. Vijnana is comprehensive knowledge, containing, penetrating into things, pervading them in consciousness by a sort of identification with their truth. Vijnana is supermind, and prajnana is actually objectivization, viewing objectively the thing. Usha is to occupy the revealing thought and word of the rishi as the power of knowledge, conscient of the truth of all that is placed by them before the mind for expression in man. So she is operating by both. She is fronting the manifested beings. And in that sense, she perceives them as if objectively, so to say, and knowing their truth as vicheta from within. This affirmation, it is suggested, will be full and ample. For Usha is Vajena Vajani Maghoni, rich is the store of her substance. She has all the plenitudes. Another word, plenitude, Sri Aurobindo is using throughout as vajas. And it is also very loaded by meaning, by spiritual meaning word. Plenitude means the substance. This, exactly as this says, the substance. Rich is the store of her substance, or the substance charged with consciousness. This is plenitude. Power which is fully emanating consciousness. Power which goes together with consciousness. There is no gap between them. This is the plenitude. It's a fullness, fullness in every way. So whatever you do or want to do or see to do, everything goes together with doing and knowing. Fullness. Capacity of manifesting anything you envision. And what the soul envisions is made the world, Sri Aurobindo says. What soul sees, the world is made of. So this is plenitude. This dawn moves in her progression always according to the rule of her divine action. Many are the thoughts she brings in that motion, but her steps are sure, and all desirable things, all supreme boons, the boons of the Ananda, the blessings of the divine existence, are in her hands. She is ancient and eternal, the dawn of the light that was from the beginning, Purani. But in her coming, she is ever young and fresh to the soul that receives her. We receive her always as absolutely new, fresh, and we never met her before. This is our perception of that ancient goddess. She is to shine wide. She, that is the divine dawn, as the light of the immortal existence, bringing out in man the power and the voices of truth and joy. Sundrataha, a word which expresses at once both the true and the pleasant. Literally perfect dynamic truths. So the dynamic truth has something to do with the delight, with the delight of moving forward, with the delight of action. Truth generates the delight. For it is not for is not the chariot of her movement a car at once of light and of happiness? This is how Sri Aurobindo puts rhetorically. Is not the chariot of her movement a car at once of light and of happiness? Of course, it is in the same. For again, the word Chandra in Chandraratha, signifying also the lunar deity Soma, Lord of the delight of immortality, pouring into man Ananda and Amrita, means both luminous and blissful. And the horses that bring her, figure of the nervous forces that support and carry forward all our action, must be perfectly controlled, golden, bright in hue, their nature. For in this ancient symbolism, color is the sign of quality, of character, of temperament. Must be a dynamism of ideal knowledge in its concentrated luminousness. Wide in its extension must be the mass of that concentrated force. Prithupaja soye. Wide in its extension must be the mass of that concentrated force. So there are two qualities of the force, concentrated and extended. It's not just extended and watered out. It is at the same time more and more gathered and focused at the same time. Divine dawn comes thus to the soul with the light of her knowledge, prajnana, confronting all the worlds as field of that knowledge, confronting, that means prajnana, all provinces, that is to say, of our universal being, mind, vitality, physical consciousness. She stands uplifted over them on our heights above mind, in the highest heaven, as the perception of immortality or of immortal, amritasya ketu, revealing in them the eternal and beatific existence or the eternal all-blissful Godhead. She exalted, so exalted she stands prepared to effect the motion of the divine knowledge, progressing as a new revelation of the eternal truth, naviyasi, in their harmonized and equalized activities, like a wheel moving smoothly over level field. For they now, their diversities and discords removed, offer no obstacle to that equal motion. These mind, vitality, and physical consciousness, they are no more objections, no obstacles. Everything is being removed and smoothened and harmonized. She is always reviving, rejuvenating the being, restoring the original truth of the physical, vital, and mental consciousness. This is her influence when she comes. In her plenitude, she separates, as it were, and casts down from her the elaborately sewn garments. So those garments we were discussing, why she is making herself naked, that covered the truth of things and moves as the wife of the lover, the energy of her blissful Lord, Svasarasya Patni, full in her enjoyment of felicity, full in her effectuation of all activities, Subhaga Sudansa. She brings into existence in us by her revelations Svar, the concealed luminous mind, our highest mental heaven. Svar is the overmind, as you know. And thus, from the farthest extremities of mental being, extends herself over the physical consciousness. She is the transformative power which is reaching out to the physical being with her supramental light. Nobody can reach to that bottom of things. That's why Sri Aurobindo invoked the mother. That's why the mother is so important for this transformative yoga. Without her, transformation is impossible. There are no forces, no gods can do it without the Divine Mother. As this divine dawn pours out widely its light upon them, so have men, by submission to the law of her divine act and movement, to bring forward for her the fully energized completeness of their being and their capacity as a vehicle for her light or as a seat for her sacrificial activities. So we make ourselves a vessel for her movement, for her divine act, to be fully energized for her completeness, in our being. We are totally surrendering to her force and consciousness. The Rishi then dwells on the two capital works of the divine dawn in man, her elevation of him to the full force of the light and the revelation of the truth, and her pouring of the Ananda and the Amrita, the Soma wine, the bliss of the immortal being into the mental and bodily existence. In the word of the pure mind, Divi, in the world of the pure mind, Divi, in heaven, she rises into the full force and mass of the light. Urdhvam Pajo Ashret. And from those pure and high levels, she establishes the sweetness, Madhu, the honey of Soma, this delight, Ananda. She makes to shine out the three luminous worlds, Rochana. Rochana are the three overmental realms of intuition, overmind, and supramental overmind. She makes to shine out the three luminous worlds, Trirochana. She is then, or she brings with her the beatific vision. By the effectual illuminations of the pure mentality through the realizing word, Divo Archaich, by the flaming words, heavenly words, she is perceived as the bearer of truth, and with the truth she enters from the world above mind, full of the delight. In a varied play of her multitude thought and activity into the mental and bodily consciousness, those established limits between which man's action moves. Our action moves between our mental and physical consciousness, and between them there is a vital realm. So all our activities are within this realm. So she establishes her presence there. It is from her, as she moves thus richly laden, Vajena Vajini, that Agni, the divine force, laboring here in body and mind to uplift the mortal, prays for and attains to the Soma, the wine of the beatitude, the delightful substance. She comes with this delight, and Agni approaches her as a beggar of delight. He begs for that heavenly transcendental delight, Soma, and she pours that delight into him, and he grows by that offering. The supramental world in us, foundation of the truth, in the foundation is the foundation of the dawns. Notice this has to be highlighted. The supramental world in us, foundation of the truth, is the foundation of the dawns. They are the descent upon mortal nature of the light of that immortal truth, Ritam Jyotih, the Lord of the dawns, Master of truth, Illuminer, Creator, Organizer, putting forth in the foundation of truth, above mind, the impulsion of his activities, enters with them by this goddess into a bodily and mental existence, no longer obscured, but released from their limits and capable of vastness. Mahirodasi. Our mental and physical consciousness becomes great, extended, luminous firmaments. This is the purpose of our coming down. The Lord of Truth is the sole Lord of things. He is Varuna, soul of vastness and purity. He is Mitra, soul of source of life, source of love and light and harmony. His creative wisdom, Mahimitrasya Varunasya Maya, unlimited in its scope, for he is Varuna, appearing Chandreva as the light of bliss and joy. For he is Mitra, arranges, perfectly organizes in multitudinous forms, in the wideness of the liberated nature, the luminous expansions, the serene expression of the truth. These two, Varuna and Mitra. Varuna is the purity and vastness of the divine being, and Mitra is the luminosity and the harmony of the divine consciousness. Mitra is shaping, making forms. Varuna supports them with the truth. He combines the various brilliances with which his dawn has entered our firmaments, our physical and physical and mental consciousness. He blends into into one harmony her true and happy voices. In this case, we see Dawn as if she acts from Varuna and Mitra, but Varuna and Mitra are the faculties of the sons of the Divine Mother. So with the help of Varuna and Mitra, Aryaman, Bhaga, all these transcendental godheads, the guardians of the truth, she acts upon this physical and mental consciousness of human beings as the dawn. She activates them, she brings them with her to act upon our unregenerated nature. Dawn divine is the coming of the Godhead. She is the light of the truth and the felicity, pouring on us from the Lord of wisdom and bliss. Amritasya ketuh svasarasya patni. So this is the Sri Aurobindo's overview of this short hymn. Now we understand why he is so drawn to these hymns of the dawn. It is that force without which there is no integral yoga. If that force is not activated, there is no integral yoga. It's just some kind of mental exercise. Philosophy, you name it, psychology. You do things. You do you, I do me. That's what it is without her. But the moment she is there is no more you anymore. There is only she growing within you, making you what you are meant to be, for whose sake our selves were made. We are made for her sake. This is the line from Savage. We lose the one for whose sake our lives were made. So, number 2, Usho Devi Amartya Vibhahi.
Yes. Can I ask a small question before?
Yes, of course, it's time to ask because we read such a huge passage. Maybe we should discuss.
No, so I'm actually just interested in the word Puram Dhi. What really does it mean? Does it mean city of thoughts? Is that an okay translation?
It's a mysterious word, Puramdhi. Sri Aurobindo gave you the fullness of thought, yes. Many thoughted comes with many thoughts. Dhi is thought or concentration or focusing of conscious or higher mind, if you will. Some higher meditations, contemplations, full of highest contemplations she comes with. Purandhi is Bahuvrihi compound. That means she who has a lot of fullness of thoughts.
Okay. Got that.
Great. Yeah, I switched off then, so I thought that there would be more, but
Vladimir,
yes.
yeah, my question is, what is this fullness of thought?
Well, when she comes, you have the capacity of the higher mind to dwell on anything without forcing it to dwell, without a control. It's some kind of natural dwelling on things. Your capacity of focus and concentration grows naturally. It's like dhyana level, yeah, dhyana before samadhi, which means your concentration becomes seamless, um, effortless, natural. You can smoothly dwell on any chosen object of sense with that presence.
So does it lead to a siddhi?
Well, it is a great siddhi when the mother comes. Yes, absolutely. You
It
become
is a siddhi.
absolute siddha. But when she's there, yes, you are siddha. When she withdraws, you become normal again.
Yeah, no, but this siddhi, I wanted to understand. Is it the mental powers of telepathy, clairvoyance, clairaudience,
This
projecting
I
your
don't know that. Yeah, I didn't think of those things.
prakamya and vyapti?
Most probably, yeah, most probably they are also there somewhere, but they are not sought after. Yes, we are not
No, not
trying.
sought after. It's a
Mm.
natural progression. It's a natural growth in the yoga.
Well,
That's how I read it.
right. Most probably you're right. Something happens in that way also. I never had this, though. I mean, those who felt the presence and growth of the Divine Mother presence dawn over you, dawning, you feel that your capacity of concentration grows naturally. You are not jumpy anymore. You are not trying to make an impression or anywhere. You're not trying to make things work anymore. They work smoothly by themselves, and you just flow with that presence. You hold on to it, as it were. But most probably deeper, if you go deeper with her presence, there will be more siddhis, definitely. But they are byproduct, I believe.
Mm. Mm. Thank you.
Mm. But we have to experience this. What can we say? I don't remember Sri Aurobindo saying about these siddhis with with regard to the Divine Mother descent of Shakti.
Yeah, he does not directly talk about it, but there are articles that he has written, especially on the record of yoga,
Mm,
based on his experiments with, when he was practicing intuition and
mm.
revelation and how things were happening. He willed certain things through his thought, and it kind of happened. And
Yeah.
so that's why I was
Yes,
referring to.
yes, absolutely. The most probably certain CDs have to be, yeah, furnished, have to be prepared by you wanting them to be. Certain things like intuition will be given immediately, and concentration is naturally coming. Peace.
Also, the fact that he controlled events, the World War II, he controlled events from a distance
Yeah,
with his power of thought. I'm referring to that aspect, that siddhi, where you can control not only objects, but you have a power over events and circumstances. You can change them with your thoughts. He talks about it in the
Yeah.
record of yoga.
I think it also comes in the greater mind of Savitri, where he says, the mind has gone beyond the sense of time and space.
Yes.
Absolutely, those are all cities. And also during the soup meditation, also Mother was saying many gods were descending into the sadhaks. And these gods must be the siddhis only. I think so. I mean, like and some people couldn't take them. I mean, these gods, these powers were descending into the sadhaks during the soup. And so she had to stop the soup meditation, I guess.
Mhm.
I mean, I remember reading somewhere.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you for explaining it nicely.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, I wanted to ask what is the interrelation between the psychic and the overmind? Because I'm a bit confused, to be honest with that. The overmind godheads can help the psychic in its path to grow, from what I understand. But then the psychic also has the capacity to exceed that plane. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, absolutely. Psychic is the center, it's actually representative of the supreme in the individual form. It's a growing supreme, the new Lord, the Prince of creation, yes, so to say, the son of the Father, as it were. And of course, he is still a child. He is not a king yet, but he has that capacity as Yajamana. The sacrifice is happening through him. He becomes part of that many, the enterprise of many of the Supreme. And the gods or universal powers of the One are here to really help him grow. They are all here engaged in his growth. So godheads of the overmind are much more powerful than psychic in this manifestation for now, yeah, because they are already playing that role and psychic is only growing from the spark to the being. But when the psychic grows and exceeds and overtakes the whole manifestation, all these godheads become part of this one being. They are becoming his powers. These are our higher powers of our higher consciousness, the gods. Yeah? Now we see them as separate. We are here and they are there. They are greater, we are smaller. We ask them to help. That's why we have this question. But at the end of the process, all these powers are the powers of our new consciousness.
Can we say that the Vedic rishis have gone beyond supermind, especially Vishwamitra? Because why I had this doubt was Vishwamitra created Trishanku Swarga. And I don't know, I just have this feeling that the power of creation comes maybe only with supermind. I mean, is it wrong to connect the both like that? I don't know.
Well, that was the Vistrishanko. There is the whole story. Yes, he created because the gods opposed. Yes, no, they didn't allow Trishanku to go, and he promised Trishanku to bring him to heaven in his body, which is absolutely unthinkable. So the gods were some kind of objecting, and he said, "Yeah, okay, if you object, I will create a new universe with new set of gods, and then I will bring him to that heaven." And then gods got scared, they had to take him. Okay, wait a minute, don't create another universe. Let us, yes, this is the power of the psychic. Yeah? It can create its own universe. It is the supreme in a way.
Is it the supramental?
It's a supreme. It's something. Supramental is meant to connect the higher hemisphere and lower, the Satchitananda, to this world. It is the link world, where both worlds coexist, as it were, coincide. So, and in that sense, it is the fullness, of that and this world. It is in one world where both worlds are together. One is forged into another. And that forging process, that transformative power, yes, vijnanam yajnam tanute karmani tanute picha. Vijnanam devaha sarve brahma jyeshtham upasate. So Vijnana is that where all is prepared and made, activated in this lower hemisphere. So in that sense, but what he created for him, New Heaven, he still, Trishanka was not allowed to come to New Heaven. At the end, he was cheated, yeah, so to say. Basically, it's too early to go to immortality in the body because the whole process of evolution did not take place yet. It's a claim for the future, but it's the same as Karna was also, you know, he was the son of the Surya, of the supramental. He was born immortal, but he gave up his immortality for Arjuna, the son of Indra, of the intuitive mind, to grow, because it was his time, Arjuna's time. Humanity was to grow to the overmind, to break to this, you know, become dashagvas, as it were, to break to the overmental intuitional consciousness, and not to the supramental yet. And that's why the supermind, in the form of Karna, who came down, gives up his life for the sake of the growth of humanity to the next level. It's always happening this way, you know. The higher works for the lower to uplift it a little higher. And we can see it this way as the mother herself, Usha, Dawn, is her action, brings these godheads into action to uplift the humanity, to rejuvenate it, to make it more receptive of the spirit.
So Karna took up a body to help humanity rise to, is that right? Am I?
Yes, he actually he was not aware, most probably, what he was doing. He was driven by his own. But what he did, he was the example for Arjuna all the time. Arjuna was envying his skill. He didn't have the same skill. Karna was better archer. Can you imagine? Better archer than Arjuna. Arjuna is number one archer in the world. And there is someone who is better. And it is his elder brother. It's amazing. If you think of it, Krishna tells Arjuna, you can't fight Karna. He's like the sun.
But in many places in Mahabharata, Karna was also described as a man with a negative character. With Duryodhana, he committed mistakes, his attachment to his friendship.
Well, it's a
is because,
supramental quality. It is too early for the humanity to be attached to his friendship. In the supermind, everything is attached to the friendship. It's absolute loyalty to everyone with whom you are loyal. Yeah? So it's, if you start analyzing, you will see. And he was born immortal. Who was born immortal? Yeah? It was only him, born immortal. And he gives up his immortality to actually challenge Arjuna. Some people even think that originally the whole Mahabharata was written about Karna, around Karna, and then Pandavas came and so on. Story developed. Some scholars, but I'm not subscribing to it. I think it's all about Krishna. Yeah? And so, but Krishna, also with Karna, he also comes to him and tells him, you are the eldest brother. You have to be the king in the kingdom. He invites him before the battle. Yeah? And Karna rejects. He says, I know what you want to do. I have seen it. And he subscribes to his vision and action. He agrees to what Krishna wants to do, though Krishna must come to him and tell him this because it's a part of the divine story. You know? It must be done. And he does it. And he receives proper answer, no. I will fight on the side of my chosen, my loyalty, yeah? Where I chose my loyalty to be with. So in a way, it's an amazing story. I see it because he was always on the edge, Arjuna, always trying to beat Karna. Karna was his, example, prototype he wanted to become. And that's how Arjuna grew. He went into seclusion, he went into tapasya because of this, to gain that quality of the archer, to become like Karna. And that tells me something, tells me a lot. And at the end, when Karna is, the chariot is stuck by the curse, and he is without weapons, trying to pull it out, the chariot in the battlefield. Arjuna comes with the arrow, and he cannot shoot. He cannot shoot even then. Something is not allowing him to shoot Karna. Krishna demands, shoot now. Otherwise, it will be late, too late. Look, the sun is covered by the cloud. Krishna prepared everything, covered the sound by the cloud, made the chariot stuck, made him without weapons, and now Arjuna is doubting whether to shoot Karna or not. Shoot. And in this beautiful Peter Brooks, have you seen his Mahabharata? You know what happens? There's a beautiful scene when Arjuna stands, he cannot shoot. Krishna takes the arrow and brings it to Karna. He carries the arrow and puts it into Karna. Because Arjuna, with his illumined mind, with his intuition of Indra, really cannot do this. These are beautiful stories to think over and over and over the whole life, again and again.
Vladimir, could you clarify, please, the symbolism behind this ending?
Descending? What do you mean?
No, the symbolism in this ending of Karna dying with Krishna's arrow.
It was not his time. He gave up his immortality. He gave his kavacha, he gave his earrings away, which were giving him the immortality. For Arjuna's sake, because he wanted to fight Arjuna. And if he would not be serious to fight Arjuna, Arjuna would not be preparing, So it's all the set of one big story. I know some people think differently about Karna, especially about his arrogance and with Draupadi and so on. There were a few moments which were doubtful with his arrogance, but he was so generous also, absolutely generous, as like Supermind. Only Supermind is totally generous like Karna. He could give up everything, his life easily giving up.
But Vyasa himself always defined him as a part of the Dushta Chatushtaya, the four Dushta,
We have to look into those verses.
beings like Duryodhana, Shakuni, Dushashana, and Karna.
Of course, he will join the party because he is there and he has supported them. If Karna would not be on their side, God knows what would happen to that battle. Karna was one of the... But yeah, I would love to see your reference and where it is from and in which context. It's important.
I could make it though. I think just and not knowing anything about this, one could also look at it from a point of view that he lost his immortality because the intelligence itself was clouded. He was not able to discern. Like it was the example of World War II. Many people in the ashram wanted to support Hitler because he was against the British.
Yeah. Like
And Sri Aurobindo was very clear about that, right? That you cannot do that because. So, I mean, couldn't you say that about Karna? I mean, he may have been born immortal, but he lost his immortality.
No, he did not lose it. He gave it up.
He gave it up, but in the sense like he lost it, right? He wasn't able to, because now you can say Krishna, how he killed him, all that. The point is
He,
that
he gave it up because he could see through the plot. He knew this person who came to him in the morning because he was known to make a charitable, whatever in charity soon after his morning dip in the Ganges. So after he had taken his shower, this bath, this beggar or this person came to and asked him for this gift, his kundal, his immortality symbols. And Karna knew exactly, even as he handed it to him, he says, I know why you're asking it of me.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes, that's true.
He
He
said, I
was,
know why you're asking it of me, but here I give it to you. I cannot refuse it. So he gave his immortality, knowing full well why he was doing it.
yeah, but I guess where I was, we were talking and somebody like was, you know, saying, right, like essentially he sided uh, with, with
You
the
remember how he
ignorance.
sided, yes? What happened?
No, I agree. Like, I mean, of course, it's so nice that Vladimir, the way he put it, is coming from the sun and all that. It's so beautiful. And also, what you said that his intelligence was clouded, quite probably that he himself was not aware of his own potential because he came much before the times. Like Vladimir was saying, he was born much. That was a time when Indra was still ruling. And it was only the, I think it was the Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga rather. So, I mean, like it was not the time of the supramental. So he himself perhaps could not realize his own potential completely. So he could easily give it up. That could also be the reason.
And you remember how he was born. He was born premature by Kunti calling to Surya to try it out.
Yeah,
One thing.
true.
So you see, before
He was
marriage he
not
was born. He is actually everything. It points out to this exceptional, premature or out of time appearance of the being. And then he was left alone, the same as Jesus, or no, not Jesus, like Moses put on the this and left on the street, on the flow of the river, and in the basket on the river he was picked up by Suta, and he grew up with the house of Suta as a charioteer. And then he comes to this contest with shooting for Draupadi, you remember? And he shoots better than Arjuna. And this is the first shock. Huh? And Arjuna is so offended and he insults him. Hey, you, like lower rank, and he is higher rank, by nature higher. And he takes it wrong. And Duryodhana immediately catches him and embraces him. You will be mine, everything. And that was the shift, the twist of the story, which is kind of amazing. All those elements, if you put them together, that he is the son of the Surya, of supramental being, born immortal, premature, better than Arjuna. Arjuna always tries to grow up to his level. It will tell you something. The rest will fall into place.
Yeah.
Vladimir, I wanted to ask you what we have been discussing just now about Karna. So, is this how the goddess Usha makes the wishes of the supermind come true, working through Varuna and Mitra? In the sense that there is the iron laws of Varuna and there is the freedom of Mitra to do a lot of things and organizing fire. It was saying in the verse. So, is this Karna episode something like this was not really the Superman's time, it was Indra's time. So, even if the circumstances were that Karna should prevail, but uh, it is ultimately it was Indra's time, so it prevailed. So, I just want to draw a comparison between this and Goddess Usha working with Varuna Mitra, what was said in that last.
Yes, the higher has to come in order to uplift the lower, absolutely. The higher comes, the better it is for the lower to be uplifted. Yeah, in a sense, yeah, there is some kind of similar story.
But not all at once.
No.
I mean, everything cannot happen right away.
No,
Something
yeah,
like that.
I will have to, for a second, to move. You please discuss because somebody is calling.
So what I was thinking is these different hues mean exactly that, that even if there is progress for the entire world, it is not a all at once progress in terms of the entire sun shining with all its colors. It is
Yeah, I
always
think,
a
yeah,
kind of measure.
that's what Vladimir is trying to say, that, the time is not right yet for the entire sun to shine. We still have to evolve. We are still not the complete being. So, in that sense, I think we still have a lot of things ahead of us that we have to cover ground. Um, and this is only an intervention in time as per our readiness. That's how I understand it. I don't know. Some other
Well,
thoughts. And
well, it is, I think, also said that like Karna, even Krishna was before his time. So it seems, so there seems to be two personality at the same time in the world at that time. They were before time.
you think
And
Krishna was before his time? I think he came to change the age. It was time for the
he,
age to change.
yeah, but then it seems there some people. I have read some type of Vladimir is there, so he will guide me or he will correct me in that case. But then the sense that the mankind was still not ready, so that's why maybe Krishna's job was done now with Sri Aurobindo coming in. And anyway. I just found a one reference in a Life Divine, which I would like to actually a paragraph, but I will just say some line from it. And it is related to the question someone raised that why Karna was considered as a party to Dushcharitra, whom we attribute to Duryodhana, Shakuni, like anything. So here first, let me first read this passage from Life Divine. Then I'll tell you the reference also from where I got it. This is about supramental or knowledge. It says that over here, Sri Aurobindo says, at the lowest end of our being, it perceives, it means supermind. Supermind perceives the inconscious from which our evolution begins. But at the same time, it is aware of the one and all self involved on those depths. It unveils the secret consciousness in the inconscience, interpretative, revelatory, moving between these two extremes. Its vision discovers the manifestation of the one in the many, the identity of the infinite in the disparity of things finite, the presence of the timeless eternal in eternal time. It is this seeing that illumines for it the meaning of the universe. So higher supermind is the highest and synthesize the entire universe, right? So if the Karna is from the supramental world, he doesn't see Dushcharita as Dushcharita. Maybe it is a part of his work for the evolution of the mankind, and that is what is confirmed by even Vladimir Ji, that he has come for the higher purpose, but since the time was not ready, so he has to sacrifice this. So this is what I feel, and this is reference from 1 minute. I'll just let you know. This is the Life Divine, Book 2, Part 2, Chapter 15, Reality and the Integral Knowledge, Paragraph 1, very first paragraph.
Yeah, I found it. Yes, it's 660 page. Well, yes, the complexity of our manifestation is so, and especially when we speak about Mahabharata and the figures, these are all symbolic figures. Yes, the sons of the of Kunti who conceives from gods. They're coming the representatives of their actions. Yeah, see, Indra and Dharma and Vayu and Ashwins, Pandavas, and the first one is Surya. And she was always trying to hide that. Anyhow, if you analyze, you will see something, the meaning in it. Yeah, that there is some other layer of meaning with Karna and Arjuna relationships. So I'm not insisting, but this was for me a big discovery. So I kind of thought about it quite a lot, back and forth. And that generosity and loyalty and his refusal to Krishna to become the king, and he knew that he is going to die, and he is going to die, that tells me a lot, a lot. This kind of noble character you hardly can find anywhere. There was nobody of that nobility around. Everybody had some dark spots, but this guy had few, but there's this kind of central figure for him fulfilling his mission, becoming an example for Arjuna to grow. And Arjuna is an example of humanity. It's the first one for whom the whole humanity, is looking as the example to follow. Not Karna, but Arjuna. Arjuna has to be supported.
Even Kunti comes to him
Yeah.
before the war.
Yes, and
And he
tells him,
says,
I'm your mother, and so on.
yes. And he says, you found the time now before
Yeah.
the war to come and tell me this.
Right. Can you imagine?
Yes.
He is unthinkable. Nobody could, well, he's Kshatriya, proper highest nobility possible. Yeah, it's very moving. So with the hymn, we will continue next time. We read today's this beautiful essay of Sri Aurobindo, what the Divine Mother is about. And she brings all the gods into the action, and by them she acts upon our being and extends our two firmaments into this luminous, vast foundations of our physical and mental consciousness. And in between this vital realm, which is filled with the light from above, and becomes the connection between these two foundations equal in one. This is the vision of transformation. Let's stop here for today, and I will close with the mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Stay.